you ever fantasize about deleting all your social media apps, one big log off, and suddenly quiet? It's a scary thought, but also kind of thrilling. Subscribe to GENSHIFT if your weekly screen time report freaks you out a little, and let's explore why so many of us are tempted to just disconnect. The scroll culture we built. We didn't wake up one day addicted to scrolling. It's a culture we built over time. Millennials and older Gen Z turned constant digital consumption into the norm. Think back MySpace top 8 lists, Facebook statuses, Instagram feeds at midnight. Before we knew it, checking our phones became as routine as our morning coffee. Social media became an all-you-can-scroll buffet serving up infinite content. Every swipe gives a quick dopamine hit, like munching on digital junk food that never fills you up. By now, living online is practically a given. One recent study found Gen Z spends nearly 9 hours a day looking at a screen, about 2 hours more than the global average. And it's not just passive doom scrolling, it's TikTok dance challenges, snap streaks, late-night Reddit rabbit holes. A whopping 96% of Gen Z is on social media in some form. We've normalized the idea that if you're not scrolling, you might be missing out. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram perfected the infinite scroll, turning our feeds into bottomless bowls of content. The result, our thumbs never learned to stop. We built this always online world, and for a while we loved it. But how did we get here? Millennials laid the groundwork, turning platforms like Facebook and Twitter into places for social validation. Likes became social currency, reinforcing the cycle. When Instagram and Snapchat took center stage, Gen Z perfected the habit, turning scrolling into second nature. Technology became faster, feeds became more addictive, and suddenly endless. Scrolling felt as natural as breathing. Burnout, overwhelm, anxiety. Yet all that constant connection comes at a price. At some point, fun morphed into burnout. Ever catch yourself doom scrolling news late at night? Eyes burning but unable to stop, or feeling a pang of FOMO, watching friends highlight reels while you're home in pajamas? These moments add up. Instead of feeling entertained, we often end up drained. The same technology that connected us now makes us anxious and overwhelmed. We joke about being chronically online, but studies reveal a serious inverse relationship between screen time and mental well-being. More screen time often means more anxiety and lower self-esteem. In one survey, nearly 40% of Gen Z said their phone interferes with daily life. Over half admitted to excessive scrolling as a coping mechanism for anxiety. It's a vicious cycle. You're stressed, so you scroll. Scrolling makes you more stressed. Constant comparisons to carefully curated highlight reels damage our self-esteem. Little by little, the joy of being online became an obligation, fueling FOMO pressure and the nagging worry we're never caught up. Millennials recognize this burnout deeply. Many entered adulthood as social media boomed, witnessing how their digital lives blurred into work and personal spaces. Constant availability became a standard expectation. Emails, LinkedIn notifications, and Slack messages invaded evenings and weekends. For Gen Z, who grew up immersed in digital culture, these expectations feel even more intense, creating an anxiety-ridden digital world. Thankfully, we're becoming aware. Terms like digital wellness and social media detox have emerged. Even tech giants rolled out screen time trackers and do not disturb modes. We collectively woke up from a digital hangover, searching for remedies. The irony, apps originally designed to hook us now gently remind us to log off. Rise of digital minimalism. Enter digital minimalism, a counterculture movement that's gaining momentum, especially among Gen Z. Think of it as Marie Kondo for your digital life. Delete the apps that don't spark joy, turn off those pesky notifications, and keep only what truly adds value. After years of being extremely online, a lot of young people are hitting the brakes. Some are even embracing the unthinkable, ditching their smartphones for old-school flip phones. In fact, Nokia's flip phone sales doubled by early 2023 thanks to this backlash. It's a weird twist. TikTok, the very app that epitomizes scroll addiction, now has influencers telling us to spend less time on TikTok. This trend isn't just about nostalgia for retro tech, it's about reclaiming control. Picture a college student proudly announcing she's deleted Instagram, or a 22-year-old trading his iPhone for a brick phone with week-long battery life. These aren't isolated quirks, they're part of a larger shift. Many Zoomers have grown suspicious of the attention harvesting tricks built into our apps. They're tired of being nudged and notified at every moment. Instead of letting algorithms dictate their day, they're opting out. They talk about going on a dopamine detox, cutting out the endless stream of digital candy to reset their brains. Surveys confirm it 3 in 5 Gen Zers want less digital connection. Over half have already tried social media detoxes. Even influencers now boast about logging off what once looked like missing out is now self-care. Digital minimalism began as a niche trend, popular among productivity geeks, and those brave enough to delete Snapchat. But now it's mainstream. When Gen Z, the generation practically raised on Wi-Fi, starts voluntarily unplugging it, signals genuine cultural change. Millennials too increasingly embrace minimalism. Tired of years spent curating perfect online identities, they're rediscovering the peace of living offline. They recall simpler times like weekends spent without constant pings. Now many actively set digital boundaries, limiting screen time to reclaim mental space and productivity. The philosophy, why it matters. At its core, digital minimalism isn't merely about phones or apps. It's about autonomy, clarity, and mental space choosing that we, not algorithms or endless feeds, shape our lives. As author Cal Newport states, digital minimalism is about intentionally and aggressively clearing away low-value digital noise, allowing us to focus on what genuinely matters. Our attention is precious. Why not spend it intentionally? Consider the moments regained when you log off, genuinely listening to friends without distraction, having a free hour for thoughts to wander freely. These once normal experiences now feel luxurious. Digital minimalism seeks to restore intentional living. We shape our tools, and thereafter our tools shape us. The question we must ask ourselves is, do we like the shape we're taking? For Gen Z and Millennials, this is a collective soul-searching moment. We're the first generations raised alongside the internet, uniquely positioned to define this relationship's future. There's profound power in occasionally logging off. It declares, I control my time, not the algorithm. It carves clarity amid a noisy world, creating room for creativity, relationships, and uninterrupted thought. Importantly, this philosophy isn't anti-technology. It advocates treating technology as a tool rather than a trap. Apps and devices aren't inherently bad, they're neutral. Our relationship with them determines their value or harm. Minimalism offers freedom from compulsive scrolling, constant notifications, and digital overwhelm. It redefines tech from a mandatory obsession to an optional companion. Reclaiming personal connections. The shift to digital minimalism also reopens space for genuine human connections. Instead of sharing curated posts with hundreds of acquaintances, we focus on meaningful interactions with fewer people. Millennials often reminisce about genuine conversations held before social media took center stage. Gen Z, facing constant digital stimulation, increasingly craves real-world connections as well. This movement prompts us to ask, when was the last time we fully engaged in conversation without glancing at notifications? Minimalism offers more attentive friendships, family interactions, and communities. It restores depth to our relationships, making conversations rich and interactions genuine. Rediscovering creativity and focus. Another benefit, enhanced creativity and productivity. Constant digital stimulation fragments our attention, making deep work and creative flow challenging. Digital minimalism restores that focus, allowing us uninterrupted time for passion projects, hobbies, or simply daydreaming. Millennials and Gen Z alike have rediscovered the joy of offline activities, reading physical books, sketching, journaling, or exploring nature without snapping a picture. Conclusion: so can we ever fully disconnect? Maybe not entirely. Modern life is undeniably intertwined with technology. Yet digital minimalism reveals we can find better balance. We can scroll less live more intentionally and reclaim mental clarity. It reminds us that we have agency over our digital lives. While technology offers incredible opportunities, we must consciously define our relationships with it. Small intentional changes spark meaningful shifts, silencing unnecessary notifications, setting app time limits, or carving device-free moments daily. These simple steps gradually restore balance and reduce digital anxiety. Ultimately, logging off isn't about completely rejecting technology, it's about reclaiming personal power. For millennials, it means returning to authenticity. For Gen Z, it provides relief from the digital pressure cooker. For everyone, it represents intentional living, valuing presence, creativity, and genuine connection over passive consumption. As we finish this exploration, reflect on your digital habits. Do they align with your values, enhance your life, and foster true connection? If not, perhaps it's time for a mindful reset. Tonight, consider turning off your phone an hour early. Simply be present. Experience firsthand how small adjustments create significant impact. Logging off even occasionally signals personal autonomy. It asserts control over our attention and lives. Digital minimalism isn't an escape, it's empowerment. In the end, it isn't about choosing between logging on or off permanently, but rather navigating our digital world thoughtfully, consciously, and intentionally. When we redefine our relationship with technology, we rediscover the joy in both online connection and offline life. If this video made you think twice about your own habits, consider a small challenge tonight. Turn off your phone an hour early and just be present. Little changes can spark big shifts. Like, subscribe and send this to someone who's online right now.